and welcome back to the Line Unbroken, my series in which I am playing through each of the scenarios of the Lord of the Rings living card game in turn, using only cards which were available at the time of the release, in imitation of the existing LOTR-LCG progression series. I took a bit of a hiatus after finishing off the Shadows of Mirkwood cycle, but I'm now back doing the Khazad-Dum deluxe expansion, starting with the first scenario, Into the Pit. As you see, and have seen if you've looked at the accompanying blog post, I've gone all out for the dwarves here to really show off the power of Dane and generally fit with the theme of this box, which is all dwarves. There's one card that's not dwarf related. So, for this scenario, you have been sent by the White Council to Moria to deliver a message to Balin and his dwarven colony. No one has heard from him in a while. Set up, search the encounter deck for Eastgate and Cave Torch. Put Eastgate into play as the active location. There it is. Immune to card effects. Players cannot optionally engage enemies, and no engagement checks are made. Forced after Eastgate leaves players an explored location, add first hall to the staging area. Cave Torch to a hero of his choice. Set first hall and Bridge of Khazad-Dum aside, out of play. Shuffle the encounter deck. I will attach the Cave Torch to Dane. The doors of the East Gate hang crooked on their hinges. The darkness inside the doorway is still and impenetrable, shutting out the last beams of a sinking sun. When revealed, reveal one encounter card per player and add it to the staging area. Sigil Mineshaft and Crumbling Ruin. When revealed, each player must exhaust a character and discard the top card of his deck, if able. If the printed cost of the discarded card is equal to or higher than the remaining hit points of the exhausted character, discard the exhausted character. It's not a great start, so I suppose deck 1 will exhaust Dwalin and discard a Hasty Stroke, so that's fine, and deck 2 will exhaust Gimli and discard a Veteran Axe Hand. So we're okay, but that could have been disastrous. Although I suppose, as disastrous things go, at least it happened right at the start. It wouldn't have... It's not like I would have lost much. Players cannot advance to the next stage of the scenario unless Bridge of Khazad-Dum is in their victory display. So this is the particular sort of mechanic here. It's this series of locations. You explore one to get the next, you explore this one to get this one, and then you explore this one to actually be able to advance in the quest. And so that is everything. Let us Control N. And add the extra card here. Alright. So, I was, of course, hoping for the quick appearance of a Steward of Gondor, but obviously it was not to be. So let's start by just playing this Campfire Tales. So each deck can draw a card. Alright, and it looks like that will be everything from deck 1. Deck 2, on the other hand, I have a couple of decent options here. I think I will pay 1 for the Song of Mocking on Gloin, because you can use it to generate more resources. And then let's get this Dwarrowed Elfax in play. Could put it on Dwalin, I suppose, probably the best choice. And let's go with that. So then, questing, including the +1 willpower to all dwarves from Dane. 3, 5, 8. This may seem rather reckless, but given the effect on East Gate, can't optionally engage enemies and no engagement checks are made, which means basically any enemies will just sit up here, and that can actually be kind of a problem, because then essentially, where usually there's the potential problem with getting location locked, here you can get enemy locked, so you really want to clear this quite quickly to ensure that the enemies can't just build up a massive amount of threat that you can't get past. So, now what was that? 3, 5, 8. 8 willpower with already 5 threat. Well, each player may choose and discard one card at random from his hand. If all players did not discard one card, Balbal gains Surge. I do not want Surge. I could use a test of will to cancel that when revealed, to hang on to my cards. But no, I think random discard. Okay, lost Navi's belt. That's unfortunate. And random discards cause slight problems. Yeah, but okay. Lost a quick strike. That's not too big a deal. And Signs of Conflict, doomed to Surge. Not too bad. Dreadful Gap. When revealed, immediately travel to Dreadful Gap. If another location is currently active, return it to the staging area. And X is the number of characters in play. Now the thing is, it says, yes, when revealed, immediately travel to Dreadful Gap. But Eastgate says it is immune to card effects. It is possible that there was a mistake on the part of the designers, but what it says is immune to card effects, not just player card effects. So one would assume, therefore, that it is immune to the effect of Dreadful Gap, and therefore that effect will not go off. The Dreadful Gap and the Eastgate will both remain where they are. Again, it's possible that's mistaken. I haven't actually checked what the rule sheet says about immune to card effects. But, well, if they want it to just be immune to player card effects, they should errata it to that effect. So, there is now 10 threat in the staging area. But I can potentially get rid of this Sigil Mineshaft by raising threat. So, raise each player's threat by 1 to place 1 progress token on Sigil Mineshaft. So I'm going to raise each player's threat by 2 to place 2 progress on the Sigil Mineshaft, and then exhaust the Cave Torch. Exhaust Cave Torch to place up to 3 progress tokens on a dark location. So I will do that because the Sigil Mineshaft is dark. Place 3 progress, it is explored. Forced. After Cave Torch exhausts, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If that card is an enemy, add it to the staging area. It is not an enemy, it is just discarded. So I have now reduced the threat in the staging area by 5, so 8 against 5. I will make 3 progress. I'm definitely going to need some more willpower moving forwards. There's a Gandalf over here, that could come in handy. Nothing really to spend leadership resources on, so I will spend 1 resource from Gloin to add it to Biffa. And that's it for the round. Control N. Alright. And so now, I think as planned, 5 resources for Gandalf. And let's use his ability to draw 3 cards. Alright, those are some fairly useful cards. There's still nothing useful really to spend the leadership resources on, so I'll pay 1 from Dane to add it to Biffa, and then spend it on an Erebor record keeper. Meanwhile, over here, I will spend 2 for residual miner. And now things are looking much better. So, there's still 5 threat in the staging area. Let's quest 3, 5, 9, 11, 14, 16. This is the power of dwarfs with Dane. So, 16 versus 5, probably enough. Stairs of Name. Alright. And a Goblin Follower. Ah. Cannot optionally engage, and no engagement checks are made. This is neither not. But it is still possible to engage enemies by other effects, such as, when revealed, Goblin Follower engages the last player. Last deck currently deck 1. That means it's 1 threat is out of the staging area, so 2, 4, 7 threat in the staging area, I make 9 progress. Three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And add Eastgate to the victory display, which in turn adds First Hall to the staging area. Now, yes, each player must raise his threat by 3 to travel here. So if I had a means of exploring it in the staging area, I could avoid that because it's not immune to player card effects. There are northern trackers in this deck, but I haven't seen one yet. Don't know if I want to wait. On the other hand, I could try to clear out some of the other locations. Could possibly try to get rid of the Dreadful Gap before I get too many characters in play, though it will have a lot of quest points already. I mean, that just from your heroes, it's a minimum of 6 quest points. It's currently at 9, but it'll go down to 8 when Gandalf leaves play at the end of the round. Fouled Well is the most threat that I currently have. So I could go for that. Let's do that. And alright. Now, I could of course take this undefended, but then I would really be dicing with death on the shadow effects. Oh yes, actually that's the other thing. I will exhaust the Cave Torch to place 3 progress on the Fouled Well, since it's the only dark location in play, and discard this Sigil Mineshaft. So, yes, rather than dice with death on shadow effects, I will have Dane defend. Attacking enemy gets +1 attack roll, +2 instead if attacking the last player. I will now exhaust the Song of Mocking, targeting Dane. So until the end of the phase, Gloin takes all damage assigned to Dane, which means 3 attack +2 is 5 versus 3 defense, so 2 damage, which is placed on Gloin instead of Dane, and he gains another 2 resources. Dwalin is now attacking for 3, so 1 damage plus an extra 1 from the Dwarad Elf Axe. Not enough to kill the goblin follower, but it's a start. That's the end of the round. Gandalf will leave play. Control N. And here we go. Alright. Well, let's see. Under the circumstances... No, I'll save a spirit resource for test of will, which means nothing from over here. On this side, let's pay a resource from Dane over to Biffa, so he can play an Erebor Hammersmith and allow deck 1 to return Na'vi's Belt to the hand. Unfortunately, deck 1 has already had its chance to play cards, so I can't put this into play and make use of it yet. Otherwise, I suppose I will keep these tactics resources for possible feints or quick strikes. Probably not quick strikes, but feint. That Citadel plate can be a consideration next round. So let us quest. Oh, yes. The Goblin Follower should have taken 1 point of damage from Tharlin when it was revealed from the encounter deck. I completely forgot about that. So 3, 5. I'm ignoring the Digital Miner's action. It can be potentially useful, but it's much more so if you have a means of stacking the top of your deck so you know what you're discarding. And if you know, you can definitely deal with the cards that you are deal with losing the cards that you are discarding. So that's, let's see, 3, 5, 7, 10, 12. Against 6. Sounds fairly reasonable. I will send the Hammersmith as well for another 2. 14 versus 6. Watchful eyes. Alright, this can be problematic. First player is deck 1. Now, under some circumstances, this can be fine, because, as you see, the effect is, if attached hero is exhausted at the end of the combat phase, reveal 1 card from the encounter deck and add it to the staging area. So, if I were more set up already, I could just stick it on Dane and just say, well, I'm not going to exhaust him. However, since it's quite early in the game, Dane is my primary defender, and so I would rather not be revealing extra cards for using him in that capacity, so I will test of will that. And now, Lightless Passage. So that's an extra 4 threat, up to 10. So as it stands, I will make 4 progress, which is fine. However, I can't advance unless Bridge of Khazad-Dum is in the victory display. So, under the circumstances, I think it's time to take the threat hit and go to the first hall. And then I think I will exhaust the Cave Torch to place 3 progress on the Lightless Passage. Now, it's an interesting design. Of course, you can travel to it by exhausting the Cave Torch, which of course will still trigger the forced effect, or you can try to cave torch it to get rid of it, but that will take 2 rounds because it has 4 quest points and the cave torch only does 3. So, effective cave torch discards Watchful Eyes, not an enemy. So we move into combat. Once again, Dane will defend. No damage. Dwalin is attacking for 3 because of the Dwarrowed Elf Axe, and thus does 1 damage, which is enough to kill the Goblin Follower, not with just his attack value, not with the extra point of damage from the Dwarrowed Elf Axe, and thus Dwalin has attacked and destroyed an Orc enemy, and I can lower my threat by 2. It's an important distinction that if you have to kill the Orc with your attack value, not with the extra point of direct damage from the axe. Because if you do it with the direct damage, then the axe killed the Orc, not Dwalin, and you don't get to trigger his response. Just one of those subtle little distinctions. Alright, this is looking pretty good. So, well, I'm going to use Biff's ability to give him an extra resource from Dane, I think. Actually, no, let me think about this. There's nothing lore that I can afford that I want. Oh, no, of course I have a Miner of the Iron Hills, so I could have just discarded that Watchful Eyes. I would have taken 1 extra card. But never mind, I didn't think of it. So... I could get a Citadel Plate. I could get a Dwarven Axe. I could get a Veteran of Nanduhirion. I think... yeah, I'm going to go for the big option. Citadel Plate on Gimli. And then over here, Boots from Erebor on Gloin. He also benefits from having a slightly bigger hit point pool. Navi's Belt, once again on Gloin. Are there any attachments in the discard piles? I don't think there are, so I'll hold on to that Hammersmith. I will exhaust Navi's Belt, naming Spirit, and play this Unexpected Courage onto Gimli. So there we go. Now questing 3. Actually no, I don't need to go that hard. So I'll hold Gimli back with his 2 actions for combat. 2, 5, 7, 9, 12. Versus 8. I still have the Cave Torch available. I'll send the Hammersmith as well for another 2. 14 versus 8. Sounds reasonable to me. Sudden Pitfall. The first player must discard 1 questing character he controls if able. This effect cannot be cancelled. I despise this card with every fibre of my being, but since it's come up after I've got some allies in play, I can deal with it. I will power those down by 2 because that record keeper is dead. And the patrol leader. Alright. So, before patrol leader is dealt damage, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If the discarded card is an enemy, cancel that damage. That is not an enemy, so he takes the 1 point of damage from Farlin. And that is another 3 threat added to the staging area, which means as it stands I will make only 1 progress. However, I can exhaust the cave torch to put another 3 progress on Lightless Passage. I only need 1, and then resolve with the cave torch's forced effect. That is an enemy, and thus it is added to the staging area, but it is only 1 threat as opposed to the 4 of the Lightless Passage, so that's 3 less threat, and I make 4 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4. Add first of all to the victory display and add a Bridge of Khazad-Dum to the staging area. While the bridge is the active location, players cannot play cards. It's not too bad. It's also the most threat, so over it goes. Now I will have to engage both of these enemies. And I think I will just let the engagements fall out naturally. Like this. So, Gimli will defend and ready with unexpected courage. Add Goblin Swordsman to the staging area, attacking for 4 against 2 defense, 2 damage. Over here, Dane will defend. 3 versus 3, no damage. Gimli is now attacking for 4, so he will put another point of damage on the patrol leader, but first, that is not an enemy, so the patrol leader does take the damage. Dwalin is attacking for 3, which is exactly enough to kill the Goblin Swordsman, and I lower my threat by 2 again. Players can't play cards. I think I misread that. But never mind. It's all fine. It's all good. So, cannot play cards. Oh, sorry, a minor retcon. I intended to give Biffa an extra resource before the end of that round. So, cannot play cards, so nothing happens in planning. Request for 3, 5, 7, 10. There's 5 threat in the staging area. 10 sounds reasonable. I need 3 progress. There was nothing I can cave torch. Let's go for 12. Watchful Eyes. I could cancel it, but I do have that Mine of the Iron Hills. Yeah, I'll just let that be. Oh, of course, I can't cancel it because I can't play cards. And cave-in, remove. Oh, all progress tokens from the current quest card and active location. Well, that's very annoying, so I have to make all that progress again. But it removed progress, so it does not gain surge. So, 12 against 5. That makes 7 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. But now I do not advance because I no longer have enough progress on entering the mines. Exceedingly frustrating, to be sure. I'm going to travel to the Dreadful Gap to get rid of it, because I don't want to exhaust a character for the Stairs of Name, and then deck 1 will engage this Goblin Swordsman. Note, of course, the passive effect, so I really can't take these guys undefended. And I don't want Watchful Eyes to go off, so Dwalin will defend. Attacking enemy gets +2 attack, so that's 5 attack, meaning 3 damage, and therefore I will not exhaust Song of Mocking, as that would kill Gloin. But it will not kill Dwalin. Gimli will defend and ready with Unexpected Courage. Another Goblin Swordsman added to the staging area. Gimli takes another 2 damage and now has attack of 6. I will not attack this Goblin Swordsman. Gimli will swing for 6. That is not an enemy, therefore the patrol leader takes 3 damage and is killed. Discard the Shadow card and Control N. Biffa will play this Miner of the Iron Hills and discard Watchful Eyes. Let's see. Pay 2 for a Dwarven Axe on Dwalin, so he now has attack of 5, 6 while Dane is still ready, plus an extra point of direct damage. And over here, I don't have a great use for the leadership resources still, so I will send one of Dane's over to Biffa. And he will pay 3 for a Daughter of the Nimrodel. Key ally for getting the most out of Gloin. And then over on this side, I'll exhaust Navi's belt. Oh yes, I will. I'll exhaust Navi's belt, naming Law. Pay 3 for this Longbeard Map Maker. And that will be it. Now questing. 3 threat in the staging area. So 3, 5, 7, 9, 12, 14. This has quite a few quest points, so I possibly want more. 17. Oh, and sneak attack. Gandalf. Drawing 3 cards. $21 willpower. That is probably enough. The Dreadful Gap currently has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 quest points. Doomed 2, Surge. This card really isn't that bad until you draw 3 of it in a row. Then it's incredibly annoying. So that was the Surge. Immediately engages the last player, takes 1 damage from Thalin. And I hate this card. Deal 1 damage to each exhausted character, 2 damage if the active location is a dark location. That would not kill anyone. So under the circumstances, yeah, it's not dark, so under the circumstances I will actually let it go. Oh no, it will kill my Sigil Miner. I think I'll let it kill the Sigil Miner. Reduces my willpower by 2. That's still 19 against 3, so 16 progress. This only has 11 quest points now. Add that to the victory display, and it advances to the next quest stage. The skeletons of dwarves and orcs lie undisturbed, but you have discovered no recent sign of the dwarven colony. The sound of scampering feet travels to your ears, and you move in that direction to investigate. There is a patrol of goblins, marching in a loose formation through the shadows. When revealed, each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for 1 enemy of his choice, and add it to the staging area. 1 choice must be patrol leader, if able. Alright, so yes, and we need to either kill all the enemies or quest through. So let's look at the encounter deck. There is a second patrol leader in the encounter deck, so let's take the one out of the encounter deck rather than the one out of the discard pile. And yes, let's take the Goblin Scout. The threat is high enough that it will come down to fight me, and it hits not very hard. So I really want the patrol leader here. I really want everything here, to be honest. Yes, Gandalf is back in my hand now. So, deck 2 will optionally engage the patrol leader. Oh no, wait. Yes. Yeah, there's no way I can... Yeah, there's no way I can get around this, so it's going to end up like this. Shadows. Alright. So, at this point, I will... Actually, no, wait. I'll wait to see. So, the Miner of the Iron Hills will defend against the patrol leader. That is dead. I'll take the Goblin Scout undefended. And now let's see, these are all 3 attack. So let's pay 1 for feint on this Goblin Swordsman. It's shadow card, so I remember. And that does not go off. I'm going to play this Campfire Tales. I was just wondering mostly if I would maybe draw a second feint, which would make this easier. As I did not, I will exhaust. Oh yeah, I will exhaust the Daughter of the Nimrodel to heal 2 damage from Gloin. And then Warden will defend Goblin Follower. And I will exhaust Song of Mocking, so that Gloin will take that 1 point of damage instead of him. Finally, Dane will defend the Goblin Swordsman and take no damage. Gimli is attacking for 6 still. Oh no, wait. I took the Goblin Scout undefended, and I would have then assigned the damage to Gimli. That was the point. So he's attacking for 7 and kills the patrol leader. No one is ready to attack on the other side. So there we go. And Control N. Ah, there's that second feint. Alright, now we'll spend 2 leadership resources to put Steward of Gondor onto Gloin, and then exhaust it to give him another 2 resources. See, I have this Gandalf, who could be rather helpful. No, I think I'll save. Will I save Gandalf? No. Maybe not. Actually, yes. Let's leave Gandalf, and actually let's not even play anything more on this side. Over here, might be another case of play nothing. Yep, I think so. So then let's quest 3, 5, 7, 10, 13, 15. This is 3. No, let's just go with 13 versus 3. Right, branching paths and Stairs of Nain. The branching paths effect applies to itself since it is dark, so that's an extra 4 threat. Meaning I will make 6 progress. It would be nice to make more, so I will spend 2 resources from Dwalin for Untroubled by Darkness. Each dwarf character gets +1 willpower until the end of the phase. There is no active location underground, dark or otherwise. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more willpower. So I will make 11 progress. You have captured a member of the patrol and press the wounded goblin for information about the dwarves. It gives a nasty laugh and with a mouthful of blood spits out, "Balin can be found in the Chamber of Records." It can say no more. The Chamber of Records is on the 7th level of Moria. The way up is treacherous, and you are accompanied by a sense of unease and vague dread. Heroes do not collect resources during the resource phase. And if we complete the stage, we win the game. Alright. So I don't want to go to the Stairs of Name. Let's go to the branching paths. Like 2 will optionally engage the swordsman. Now, Feint. Dane. And Dwalin. Plus 2 attacks, so that's 5, so 3 damage. Goblin Scout undefended. Gimli's up to attack of 8. And the Hammersmith will defend the Swordsman. Then player raises his threat by 2. Hammersmith is dead. Still can't make any attacks over there. Gimli will kill the Swordsman. Control N. And then let's remove all these resources I shouldn't have gained. Alright. So let's play nothing over here. Over here, on the other hand, one, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gandalf, and let's use his damage ability to kill Swordsman. Oh, actually, hang on. How much progress do I need? 12. Four threat. I need 15 progress. Alright, yeah. So now questing 3, 5, 9, 12, 14, 17. I think this is the time that I cancel it, because I've been struggling with keeping Gloin safe defending these. Doom 2 Surge. Let's hope I just don't just threat out. And well, okay. Random discard. And random discard. Move it to the correct discard pile. So that's 7 threat in the staging area. I'm making 10 progress. I want 15. So I will pay 1 for secret paths on this fouled well. Taking it down to 4. I'm making 13 progress. I'll exhaust Navi's belt, naming Law, and then spend 4 law resources to boost the Longbeard Mapmaker's willpower by 4 until the end of the phase. 21 against 4, I make 17 progress. 2, 3. More than enough. Technically, this effect goes off. Let's look at the top 3 cards. And let's add that one and move the others to the bottom of the deck. But regardless, I won. Fairly simple scenario, but with definite issues that can arise. I just struggled to get allies onto the table. These decks aren't necessarily the most finely tuned. They're more using dwarves as a blunt instrument to smash through everything, and a lot of the time that works. So yes, on to the 7th level. There's my score. On to the 7th level.